Hello and welcome sa second part ng ating debate review. Ngayon, dito na tayo papasok sa pinaka-critical na part ng debate, the cross-examination. You see, kung sa opening statements and rebuttals ay nakikita natin ang prepared speeches, sa cross-examination, nahuhubaran ang rhetoric at natitira ang totoong laman ng arguments. Hindi na pwedeng magtago sa mahahabang monologue, hindi na pwedeng mag-name drop ng kahit ano. You need to answer a clear question. Dito rin makikita kung sino ang may consistent na historical method at sino ang nagpapalit ng rules habang tumatakbo ang usapan. And in cross-examination, simple lang tanong, anong evidence, anong best explanation, at consistent ka ba sa standards? Sa bahaging ito ng debate, mapapansin natin kung paano si ilusyon. As of this recording, nilipat niya ang kanyang sarili from so-called tagawasak ng pananampalataya to Professor Ilo na ngayon. Tingnan natin kung paano siya haharap sa mga direct questioning. Straightforward historical challenges. At dito natin susubukin kung ang Mrs. position, yung kanyang posisyon ba, ay kayang tumayo pagka tinanong ng diretsahan o kung ito'y bubuhayin lamang ng evasion at redefinition. So at this point, my friends, listen to this, and I will go on to re-examine the question and answer part. Let's go.
Wait lang, boss. Pwede na yan. Okay na. Start na po.
Okay na po.
Yes, boss. Start na po.
Okay, sige. Ilan dito? Right there? Hello?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
Hello, very well.
Narinig na. Okay, sige. So ngayon, let's go for the questions now. Do historians determine ancient history using absolute certainty or probability based on evidence? Yes or no?
Definitely, ano yung sorry?
Ay, ulit ba? Do historians determine ancient history using absolute certainty or probability based on evidence?
Okay, so tingnan yan. So, definitely, historians are always works in with probability. Kaya nga ko kanina yung Bayesian theorem. Unfortunately, you don't know because you're clearly lacking of the education to know na mayroong mathematical method na ginagamit ang mga historian to conclude or to have a probabilistic conclusion regarding sa history.
Time.
Okay, thank you. Next question. Agree ka ba na history is not science and therefore does not require contemporary DNA, CCTV, or birth certificates?
Agree ako na history is not science, but history itself yung scientific method in order to know kung ano talaga yung probable na nangyari thousands of years ago.
Post time. Debaters, okay lang ba yung mga natin niyo?
Ako hindi ko narinig yung remaining answer nito kanina.
Ay, papalikit. While naka-post yun. Okay lang dito.
Sige.
Hindi ako lalagsi sa lang.
Okay. Well, post time tapos resume time natin. Ay, next question. Ano pa ulit ng question, Sir Roel? Tapos yung logic sagutin.
Okay. Sige. Agree ka ba na history is not science? Hindi. Ito ba yung tanong kanina? Di ba? Ulit ko lang. Sorry. Agree ka ba na history is not science and therefore does not require contemporary DNA, CCTV, or birth certificates?
Okay, kaulitin ko yung sagot ko kanina. Okay? Yes, agree ako na history is not science. Pero gamit ang history ng scientific analysis such as radiocarbon dating para magkaroon ng probabilistic conclusion sa isang concept or sa isang event.
Okay, thank you. Okay, next.
You're welcome.
Next, tama ba?
Alright. Now, this is the first part of cross-examination. Kung saan ako muna yung nagtanong kay Ilo. Okay? Sa unang tanong pa lang malinaw na kung ano ang gusto kong establish. Do historians determine ancient history using absolute certainty or probability based on evidence? Yes or no? Simple lang naman yung tanong natin, yes or no, di ba? Sa totoo lang, tama ang sagot ni Ilo. Historians work with probability, not absolute certainty. Diyan, we have no conflict there. Walang pagtatalo. Pero pansinin ninyo, ang unang problema, at hindi sa sagot, kundi sa kanyang framing. Bakit? Imbis na simpleng yes, sinamahan niya agad ng name-dropping ng Bayesian theorem. Personal job na, unfortunately, you don't know. At yung claim na, mathematical method ginagamit ng historiador. Classic deflection na agad ito, mga kapatid. Tinatanong siya tungkol sa historical method, pero ang ginawa niya ay nag-flex ng mathematics na hindi naman kailangan sa tanong. Bakit? First logical issue, irrelevant elaboration, red herring ang ginawa ni Ilo. Hindi po natin tinatanong kung may matematika ba, kundi kung probabilistic ba ang history. The answer is simply yes. Everything else was unnecessary padding. Or let me say padding pala. And here's more important, by answering probability-based, sinira ni Ilu mismo ang ilan sa sarili niyang opening claims. Dahil sa kanyang opening statement, ang kanyang tono ay parang ganito. Wala raw contemporary evidence so hindi raw nag-exist si Jesus. Yung argument from silence na lagi niyang ginamit is suspiciously problematic. Wala raw archaeology, then game over. Pero kung probabilistic ang history, then silence is not non-existence, lack of direct evidence is not refutation, and absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. Sa first question pa lang natin kay Ilu, nag-concede siya sa framework na sumasalungat sa mythicist absolutism na ginamit niya sa kanyang opening statement and rebuttal. Now, sa second question, which is actually a trap question for me, but a fair one. Ano yun? Agree ka ba na history is not science and therefore does not require contemporary DNA, CCTV, or birth certificates? Again, tamang unang bahagi ng sagot ni Ilu. Yes, history is not science. Pero teka, pansin nyo ha kung napakinggan nyo pong mabuti yung cross-examination. Pansinin nyo ang ginawa niya ulit. Instead of stopping there, binawi niya agad ang linaw. By saying, pero gumagamit ng history ng scientific analysis such as radiocarbon dating. Maging klaro po tayo. Category confusion ang ginawa ni Ilu. Ang radiocarbon dating, paleography, at archaeology, these are tools, not standards of proof. They support history, but they do not redefine what history requires. Hindi po tayo nagtanong ng may science bang ginagamit ang mga historiador. Ang tanong natin, kailangan ba ng modern forensic standards para mag-establish o ma-establish ang ancient existence? At ang tamang sagot na implicitly niyang inamin ay no. Dahil kung hihingi ka ng DNA, CCTV, birth certificates, para patunayan ang existence ng isang taong nabuhay ng 1st century, then burahin mo na lamang yung 95% ng ancient history. Kung saan wala tayong DNA ni Socrates, walang CCTV ni Julius Caesar, at walang birth certificate ni Buddha. Pero wala ni isang seryosong historiador ang magsasabing, baka fictional lang. Kaya, kahit pilit niyang dinagdagan ng scientific analysis, hindi niya natakasan ang punto. History operates on evidence, context, probability, and best explanation, not modern lab requirements. Yan, balikan natin yung opening statement at rebuttal niya. Itong irony, sa cross-examination, inamin ni Ilusyon, inamin niya ang probabilistic nature ng history, pero sa opening at rebuttal, ang standard niya ay parang absolute certainty. Sa cross-examination, inaamin niyang hindi science ang history, but in the debate, humihingi siya ng scientific level precision para sa existence. Yan ang unang logical issue. Ano yung pangalawa? Inconsistent standards. Changing the rules depending on which side you're on. Kapag may thesis ang conclusion, probability is fine. History is not science. Pero pagdating sa historical Jesus, pambihira, dapat contemporary, dapat specific, dapat walang contradiction, dapat may archaeology. Double standard na si Ilu. At kung tignan natin yung behavioral pattern ni Ilu sa cross-examination, imbes na maikling sagot, clear commitment at direct engagement, makikita po natin ang over-explaining, name-dropping, subtle ad hominem, at topic drift. This is not the behavior of someone confident in their framework. This is the behavior of someone trying to control the narrative instead of answering the question. At ito ang halaga ng cross-examination. Siyempre sa prepared speech, pwedeng mag-slide, mag-quote, mag-monologue. But here, yes or no, commit or retreat. So, did Ilu answer my questions correctly? Partially, yes. Did his answers support his earlier claims? No. Katunayan, pinahina niya yun. And did he debunk historical Jesus? Absolutely not. So, what he actually did was affirm the historical framework you're using, undermine his own absolutist, mythicist rhetoric, and admit that his earlier demands were excessive. So kung ating tatanungin, sinong consistent sa historical method sa point na ito? Well, guys, the answer is clear. And remember, you don't lose a debate by answering honestly. You lose it when your answers contradict your case. At dito pa lang sa first cross-examination questions, gagamitin ko ang kanyang slogan. Okay? Wasak, debunk, refuted. Si Professor Ilu. Okay, let's go for the another one.
Okay, question. Tama ba na sa kasaysayan, ang tanong ay best explanation based on available evidence, hindi perfect or absolute certainty?
Definitely based on available evidence. But when it comes to Jesus' historicity, wala tayong base available evidence because the evidence is lacking at contemporary and contradictory, as Richard Carrier explained.
Okay, salamat. Next question.
Thank you. Welcome. You're welcome.
Okay, can you name any first century... Okay, let's go to the contemporary evidence, no? So, can you name any first century peasant Jew with contemporary Roman birth or execution records?
I cannot name any. Wait, let me explain.
Okay.
I cannot name any because, I cannot name any contemporary Jew na peasant na merong mga contemporary evidence. But we have to understand na if nagawin mo siyang root sa Jesus historicity, sabi like, kasi si Jesus ay isang popular na tao the way we have to portray Jesus.
Okay, so ngayon ang follow-up question ko ukol dito. So kung wala, bakit si Jesus lang hinihingan natin ng standard na wala sa iba?
Definitely, kasi unang-una, merong assumption sa scholarship katulad mo sobrang certain ka na Jesus exists. And the word Gospels portray Jesus, hindi siya ordinary. Nakausap niya yung prefect of the Dios, Pontius Pilate, pinakot siya ng mga Roman, etc. And the paper from James Archer, miracles, go ahead.
Okay, salamat. Now, next question. Do you agree that most ancient figures lack contemporary documentation?
I do agree, but it depends. Kapag pinag-uusapan natin ay hindi popular, definitely, almost certainly, na wala silang contemporary evidence. But when we're talking about historical figure na famous, definitely, dapat lang may makikita tayong contemporary evidence. Next question.
Okay, so yung nasabi kanina, nakita ko kanina dun sa question ko, so ito follow-up ko. Bakit absence of contemporary evidence disprove lang kay Jesus?
Hindi ko sinasabing disprove lang kay Jesus yung lacking of contemporary evidence. It can be used also. Kaya diba sinabi ko sa opening statement ko na yung existence ni Jesus ay parang existence sa Socrates na hanggang ngayon mga Greek historians hindi na existence sa Socrates kasi lacking ng contemporary evidence. So hindi ako biased kay Jesus. Next question.
Okay.
So narito yung sumunod kong tanong sa kanya. Tama ba na sa history ang tanong ay best explanation based on available evidence, hindi perfect or absolute certainty? Remember that question. Ano ang sagot ni Ilu? Definitely based on available evidence. But, meron pa siyang but. But when it comes to Jesus' historicity, wala tayong base available evidence because the evidence is lacking, not contemporary and contradictory. So guys, may mahalagang concession na si Prof. Ilu. Ano yun? Inaamin niya ang tamang historical framework. Best explanation based on available evidence. So hanggang dito, pareho tayo ng method. No debate here. Pero agad siyang nag-slide, pansinin nyo. Agad siyang nag-slide mula sa method papuntang conclusion. Walang base evidence. Logical issue 1. Non sequitur. Hindi automatic na lacking not contemporary at may contradiction. Katumbas agad na walang base evidence. In history, hindi kailanman required ang contemporary documentation para masabing may historical core ang isang figure. And the most important, hindi niya dinefine kung ano ang base evidence. Hindi dinefine ni Ilu. Letters, tingnan nyo guys. Letters ni Apostle Paul, tinanggihan niya. Gospels, tinanggihan niya. Tacitus and Josephus, tinanggihan niya. Hostile testimony, tinanggihan niya. Anong tatanggapin niya tuloy? Dito makikita ang pattern. Kung lahat ay dinidisqualify, ideology na pong ginawa ni Ilu. Ideology, not skepticism. Now to the next question that I gave to him. Sabi ko, can you name any first century peasant Jewish or Roman birth or execution records? Sagot ni Ilu, I cannot name any. Inamin na ni Ilu. Boom! Malinaw. Walang ganitong records para sa kahit sinong peasant Jew. Walang ganitong records para sa kahit sinong executed criminal. Yan ang tamang sagot. But guys, ano yung ginawa niya naman dito? Diba sabi niya, I cannot name any, sabi niya. But, sabi niya, if gagawin mo itong route papunta sa Jesus Historicity, sablay kasi Jesus is popular, pambihirang ilo yan. Special pleading na naman siya. Biglang nagkaroon ng special category si Jesus. Aba, tanong ko lang sa lahat, especially to Ilu, na dating tagawasak ng pananampalataya, aba, inibanan niya ang kanyang pangalan as of this recording as Professor Ilu. Okay, Prof. Tanong. Popular ba siya sa buong Roman Empire? Hindi. Popular ba siya sa Senate ng Rome? Hindi rin. Popular ba siya sa mga Roman archivists? Lalong hindi. Si Jesus ay isang Jewish itinerant preacher na nasa province, pinatay bilang kriminal at walang political power. At sa mata ng Rome, walang rason para i-document siya ng detalyado. At saka, by the way, popular, quote-unquote popular sa gospel, is not imperially significant sa Roman records. Okay? Another question that I gave to him, kung wala, bakit si Jesus lang ang hinihingan natin ng standard na wala sa iba? Yan ang question ko sa kanya. And Prof. Ilu answered, kasi sobrang certain ka na Jesus exists and the way Gospels portray Jesus, hindi siya ordinary. Nakausap na si Pontius Pilate. Nag-perform ng miracles. Pinakamalinaw na pagkakamali ni Ilu sa cross-examination. Bakit? Logical error 3. Category confusion. Pinaghalo niya ang existence claim at miracle claim. Our debate is if Jesus exists, hindi are miracles possible. Sa history, una mong itinatatag ang existence, saka mo hiwalay na sinusuri ang extraordinary claims. Then, kung ganun palang logic ni Ilu, then Alexander the Great, extraordinary, then doubt existence. Buddha, extraordinary, then doubt existence. Socrates, extraordinary, then doubt existence. Pero hindi po ganyan gumagana ang kasaysayan eh. Okay? So, dyan pala, obviously, classic mistake na paulit-ulit ginawa ni Ilu mula opening hanggang rebuttal. And next question that I gave to him, do you agree that most ancient figures lack contemporary documentations? At anong sagot ni Ilu? I do agree, but it depends. It depends. Kapag famous, dapat may contemporary evidence. Kalahating katotohanan, pero lumalabas na kasinungalingan. Tama, maraming ancient figures ang walang contemporary evidence, pero mali yung sasabihin mong pag famous dapat meron. Tanong ko lang, famous saan? Kanino? Let's say, si Spartacus, famous ngayon, pero halos walang contemporary Roman documentation. Si Hannibal, isa sa mga dakilang general, pero kaunti lang ang near contemporary sources. So, hindi po fame ang criteria. Ang criteria, relevant sa record-keeping institution. And concerning Jesus Christ, hindi po siya Roman citizen, hindi siya general, hindi siya emperador, hindi siya senador. So, Ilu, Prof. Ilu, bakit natin inasahan ang Roman archival record sa kanya? And also, I ask him, bakit absence of contemporary evidence ay disprove lang kay Jesus? Alam yung sagot ng Ilu, hindi lang kay Jesus, pati kay Socrates din, hanggang ngayon dinadoubt. Nako, misleading comparison. Yes, there are debates about Socrates, pero hindi mainstream denial ng existence. Ang debate, detalye, hindi existence. At dito mahalaga, mainstream scholarship does not deny the existence of Jesus Christ. Kaya nga sabi ko nga lagi, ang mythicism ay fringe, minority, and rejected by majority of historians. So, ang paggamit niya kay Socrates ay hindi naman talaga nakakatulong sa kanyang case. Lalo lang nitong pinapakita na ang kanyang position ay fringe. So, let's be clear. Did Ilu, or should I say, did Prof. Ilu answer consistently with his opening and rebuttal? No. Ang ginawa lang niya, anong kanyang na-concede? Probabilistic ang history. No present Jews have contemporary records. Absence of evidence is common, and standards depend on context. Now, what did this guy still insist on? Jesus deserves a higher special standard. Gospel portrayal is historical expectation, and lack of contemporary evidence is a major problem, which is a very, very textbook example of double standards. Wow. Wow talaga. Let's go to another one.
Thank you. Next question. Tungkol sa argument from silence issue. I don't know kung ako nagbangit or what. But anyway, does silence only count as evidence if the author should have mentioned the subject?
Mas confusing yung question.
Okay, sige. No worries about that. Next question. Do you agree that Seneca, Pliny the Elder, and Philo of Alexandria never mentioned Christians either?
I agree, definitely. Seneca, Philo of Alexandria did not mention anything about Jesus, did not mention anything about Christianity.
So, are you saying Christianity did not exist in the first century?
Definitely, they do exist in the first century. There is a growing scholarship in New Testament studies na nagpapakita na ang Christianity ay 2nd century. The first mention of Christianity is mentioned by Pliny the Younger 180 to 2nd century, early 2nd century Christianity.
Okay, good. Thank you. Now, next question will be this one. About Gospels and anonymity na siyang inargue mo kanina. So, question. Anonymous ba ang lahat ng ancient biographies invalid by default?
Pass kasi tinatanong niya lahat daw. So, sobrang far-fetched na sa topic namin.
Okay, sige. Next question. Do you agree that anonymous sources can still preserve early traditions?
No, I don't agree.
Okay,
Magkano kung backup siya by evidence. May primary sources.
Sige, thank you. If no, please explain oral tradition in Jewish culture.
Pass kasi hindi naman topic namin dito yung oral tradition ng mga Hudyo. So, ang pinag-uusapan namin dito ay evidence for Jesus' historicity and not the oral tradition ng mga Hudyo.
Okay. Ang next question ko sa kanya ay ganito. Does silence only count as evidence if the author should have mentioned the subject? Ang sagot niya, pass. Nakakalito yung tanong. Red flag 101. Red flag. Hindi ito confusing question sa kasaysayan. Basic principle na itinuturo sa History 101. Alam mo, Prof. Ilu, you called yourself Prof. I-educate kita, no? Argument from silence only works if, number 1, the author is in position to know. Number 2, he has reason to mention the subject. And number 3, the subject is relevant to the author's position. Ang tanong ko ay yes or no, pero hindi naman sinagot ni Ilu. So, evasion ang ginawa niya. Pag hindi sinagot ang question na nagsiset ng historical rule, ibig sabihin madalas, alam natin na masisirain nito ang sarili nitong argument. Next question ko pa sa kanya, do you agree that Seneca, Pliny the Elder, and Philo of Alexandria never mentioned Christians either? Aba, he gladly said, I agree definitely. Okay, good. This is another important concession. Kaya malinaw. Philo never mentioned Christians, Seneca never mentioned Christians, Pliny the Elder never mentioned Christians. Pero ang problem, dito biglang lumihis si Ilu. Bakit? Here's my follow-up question. So, are you saying Christianity did not exist in the 1st century? And here is the answer of Ilu. Christianity did not exist in the 1st century. Growing scholarship shows Christianity is 2nd century. First mentioned is Pliny the Younger around 100 AD. Guys, ito ang isa sa pinakamalalang claim niya sa buong debate namin. First historical error. False definition of Christianity. Christianity does not begin when the word Christian is first written. So, by that logic pala, Judaism only existed when Judaism was coined, and Buddhism only existed when Buddhism was named. But remember, movements exist before labels exist. And Paul's letters alone already speak of churches, pagsamba kay Jesus, persecution, creedal traditions, kahit man si Bart Ehrman na paborito naming na-quote. He explicitly says Christianity began within years after Jesus' death. So ang claim niya na Christianity did not exist in the first century, hindi po siya mainstream, hindi po suportado ng ebidensya, at contrary even to critical scholarship. Another logical error, equating first mention of a label with first existence of a movement which is historically indefensible. Now, my next question to him, anonymous ba ang lahat ng ancient biographies invalid by default? At alam niyo ko lang kanyang response. Next question. Para daw perfect. Pass daw. Mahalaga to Bakit? Dahil kung sasabihin mong anonymous is invalid, then you must throw away parts of Herodotus, sources of Tacitus, and large portions or sections of Greco-Roman biography. Dito pa lang, may historical issue dito si Ilu, which is anachronistic standards. Modern authorship expectations cannot be imposed on ancient texts. Ang tinatanong po ng mga historiador, early ba ang source? May independent corroboration ba? May historical context ba? Hindi yung tinatanong kung may pirma ba. One more question to him, do you agree that anonymous sources can still preserve early traditions? Sagot ni Ilu, no, I don't agree. Okay lang kung back up by primary evidence. Pero yung sagot niya halatang self-contradictory. Tingnan yung tanong ko, paano magiging primary evidence ang ancient history kung hindi pwedeng anonymous? Parang ganun Halos lahat ng ancient traditions ay dumaan sa anonymity bago ma-attribute. Dito natin makikita yung double bind. Ayaw ni Ilu ng anonymous sources, ayaw niya ng oral tradition, ayaw niya ng later written sources. So ano yung tatanggapin ni Ilu? Wala. And when nothing qualifies, that is not even skepticism. Methodological nihilism na yan. So, dito, nagtanong pa ako, if no, please explain oral tradition in Jewish culture. Tapos biglang nagrason si Ilu ng, hindi naman dapat yung oral tradition ng mga Hudyo This is historically indefensible. Talagang ini-ignore niya ito. Alam mo, Ilu, makinig ka. You cannot study first century Judaism, rabbinic teaching, and early Christianity without understanding oral tradition. You see, Jesus himself is called Rabbi, Guro. Jewish culture was memory-based, community-preserved, repetition-driven. Kahit sina Bart Ehrman at James D.G. Dunn, they affirm the role of oral tradition in preserving Jesus' tradition. So dismissing it as, hindi yan topic, it is simply avoiding a fatal weakness in the argument of Prof. Ilu. So, what Ilu conceded? Silence exists, ancient authors omit many things, key figures never mention Christianity, and history works with probability. What Ilu asserted problematically, ano yung kanyang ina-assume? Hindi raw nag-exist ang Christianity noong first century. Anonymous sources are unreliable by default. Oral tradition is not relevant. Silence implies non-existence. At makikita po natin yung 5 problema ni Ilu dito. Number 1, evasion of foundational historical rules. Number 2, false equivalence between labels and movements. Number 3, anachronistic standards for ancient texts. Number 4, rejection of oral tradition despite cultural necessity. And lastly, method that disqualifies all possible evidence. Wow and double wow. Let's go to another one.
No, I don't. Definitely I don't.
Next question na.
Okay, now, can you cite any Roman okay na po. Okay. Can you cite any Roman historian who calls Tacitus? Ay, sorry. Hello?
Pause time. Hello, Sir Ruel. Okay lang. Hanap ka pa ni Sir Ruel kung saan pwedeng ikusan mo na kasi signal para tuloy-tuloy
Sabi ka ba? Okay na.
Hindi pa ba, Sir Ruel?
Hello? Hindi. Ready ko na.
Ayun. Continue with your question. Resume time.
Okay, sige. Okay, thank you. Ngayon, can you cite any Roman historian who calls Tacitus unreliable?
Definitely, marami tayong Roman historian in this today's history na nagsasabi na unreliable si Tacitus.
Tapos. Wait lang. Sir Ruel, sa side mo.
Mali ko sagot.
Ayun. Ilu, pa-repeat nung answer mo. Tapos, tapusin lang yung time dito ng 20 seconds. Tapos, resume time na rin, Dog, pag next question na.
Definitely, ang sabi ko definitely, ang daming mga Roman historian, hindi mabibilang sa daliri ang nagsabi na si Tacitus ay unreliable, tulad ni Richard Carrier, mga modern historian from today's time. Kasi tanong lang naman kung meron ba Roman historian na nagsasabi na hindi reliable si Tacitus.
Time. Resume time, tapos next question, Sir Ruel.
Okay, so next. Do you agree the consensus does not reduce but reflects conclusions from evidence?
I don't agree with both.
Then, why?
Because pagdating sa historicity ni Jesus, just what I explained kanina sa opening statement ko, dominated ng mga Christian scholar yung field ng biblical study. So technically, yung consensus would favor Jesus' historicity.
Next question.
Okay, last question na lang. If multiple resources, hostile testimony, and massive connection are insufficient for Jesus, then what is the figure from antiquity by your standards?
Maraming mga historian, mga ancient figures sa history na we can definitely compare with Jesus' historicity, such as Suetonius, Plutarch, Arrian, etc.
Okay.
Okay, this is the last part of the cross-examination kung saan ako ang nagtanong kay Prof. Ilu. Okay? So now, let's go to, tingnan niyo po yung isa kong question, no? Sabi ko, do you deny that Paul, Mark, Q, Material, John, Tacitus, Josephus are independent sources? Ang sagot niya, I deny that because they talk about historical Jesus at all. Pambihira, mali na agad ang sagot ni Prof. Hindi lang logically, kundi methodologically. Bakit? First logical issue, category error. Ang tanong dyan ay independent bang sources? Pero ang sagot niya, hindi po sila nagsasalita tungkol kay Jesus. Magkaibang tanong yun. And even if for the sake of argument, sabihin natin mali siya tungkol sa content, which he is, hindi pa rin nasagot ng independence. Which means, hindi sila nagkopyahan, hiwalay ang pinanggalingan, magkaibang genre at audience. Si Paul, mga letters niya, 50s AD. Si Tacitus, isang Roman analyst, 115 AD. Josephus, Jewish historian, 93 AD. Walang seryosong historiador ang nagsasabing, kinopya ni Tacitus si Apostle Paul. Kaya nang tinanong ko siya ng follow-up, can you demonstrate direct literary dependence between Paul and Tacitus? Hindi niya ito nasagot. Instead, inulit niyang claim na they don't talk about Jesus. Logical issue number 2, non sequitur plus evasion. Hindi mo pwedeng ideklarang hindi independent kung wala kang maipakitang literary dependence. Kasi sa history, burden of proof is on the denier of independence. At dito, wala siyang naipakita kahit isa. Next question ko pa sa kanya. Do you agree that women's testimony had limited legal weight in first century Judaism? Sagot ni Ilu, yes, according to Josephus, but sometimes ginagamit din sa Mishnah. Partial agreement? Sa totoo lang, sumusuporta pa nga ito sa argument ko. Hindi po dinebunk yung argument ko. Actually, sinusuportahan niya yung argument na aking presenta. Bakit? Ang point ng criterion of embarrassment ay hindi kailanman ginamit ang mga babae bilang witnesses. Hindi. Kundi, mas mahina ang legal and social credibility nila. Inamin na nga ni Ilu eh. So ang tanong, kung gumagawa ka ng alamat o propaganda, bakit babayang gagawin mong unang saksi sa empty tomb? And Prof. Ilu never answered that. Another logical issue, missing the force of the argument. Hindi sinasabi ng criterion na imposible. Ang sinasabi nito, historically unlikely to be invented. At dito, hindi na-neutralize ni Ilu ang punto. Now, concerning Tacitus, I asked this guy, do you accept Tacitus as reliable for Roman history in general? Sagot niya, no, I don't. Yan ay extreme skepticism. Hindi na po ito critical scholarship. Tacitus is universally regarded as one of the greatest Roman historians, critical of emperors and hostile to Christians. Ngayon, kung idedeklara mo siyang unreliable, wholesale, then wala nang matitira sa Roman history. At nang tinanong ko siya ng follow-up, can you cite any Roman historian who calls Tacitus unreliable? Wow! Richard Carrier! Hindi naman siya Roman historian eh. Modern mythicist siya, philosopher, French scholar. So he is guilty in another logical issue which is appeal to French authority. Hindi ka pwedeng mag-reject ng mga akda ni na Tacitus, Suetonius at Pliny dahil lang may isang modern mythicist na ayaw sa kanila. Alam mo ang tawag doon? Ideological filtering. Concerning consensus, tanong ko, do you agree that consensus does not create truth but reflects conclusions from evidence? And Illusion said, I don't agree with boss. Hindi ako agree dyan. Problematic yung sagot niya dito. Bakit? Kung ang consensus ay hindi nangangahulugang katotohanan at kung ang ebidensya ay hindi nangangahulugan na totoo yan, then anong basehan mo? Alam niyo ba kung anong dahilan niya? Anong kanyang sagot? Dominated ng Christian scholars ang biblical studies. Ano ka ba, Ilu? Conspiracy theory thinker ka ba, boy? Genetic fallacy na nga. Conspiracy thinking pa. Truth is not decided by religion, ideology, or even label. It is decided by arguments, evidence, and peer critic. At alam mo bang si Bart Ehrman, Geza Vermes, E.P. Sanders, and Paula Fredrickson, hindi naman mga Kristiyano yan eh. Hindi sila Kristiyano. And yet, they concluded based on evidence that Jesus of Nazareth really lived on the 1st century. So yung claim na Christian bias lang yan, it is actually and factually false. And here is my last question to him. If multiple early sources, hostile testimony, and context are insufficient, what ancient figure survives your standards? At ang kanyang sagot, Asian figures like Suetonius, Plutarch, and Arrian. Guys, Roman and Greek historians ang mga yan. Hindi po sila Asian figures. And most important, lahat ng binanggit niya ay mga authors, mga manunulat, mga historiador, mga yan. Actually, hindi nakapagbigay si Illusion ng isang historical person na pumasa sa kanyang standard. So, logical errors, category mistake, plus failure to answer. Dito lumalabas ang tunay na problema. Ang standard niya ay hindi kayang i-apply consistently. Kasi kung i-apply natin ito, kay Jesus, bagsak. Kay Socrates, bagsak. Kay Buddha, bagsak. Kay Alexander, bagsak. In other words, hindi history ang problema ng taong ito na nagpapanggap na propesor. Ang standard ang problema dyan. So kung babalikan natin ang opening and rebuttal niya, in opening, walang evidence, silence is suspicious, consensus is fake, gospels are fabricated. Sa cross-examination period, hindi maipakita ang literary dependence, hindi na ipagtanggol ang argument from silence, tinanggihan ang Tacitus wholesale, tinanggihan ang consensus entirely, walang maipakitang alternative historical model. Hindi refutation ang ginawa ni Ilu. Binagsak niya ang kanyang sariling argumento. In fact, hindi niya na-debunk ang historical Jesus. Ang kanyang naipakita sa atin, sobrang taas na standard, inconsistent application, selective skepticism, at rejection of mainstream history. Guys, remember, when your method disproves everyone, your method is the problem, not the evidence. And in the cross-examination, lumabas ang katotohanan. Hindi niya kayang ipagtanggol ang kanyang denial, hindi niya kayang magbigay ng mas magandang explanation at hindi niya kayang panindigan ang sarili niyang criteria. Therefore, malinaw, the arguments and evidence for the historical case for Jesus stands, and the mythicist case collapses under questioning. Abangan po ninyo yung next part, but at this point, ito naman ay noong tinanong ako ni Ilusyon sa cross-examination. So, let's go.
Okay, so, masabi ko lang, I think it's yes for me. But it's important kasi, this is not rejected because it's minority lang naman, although wala, sabi nila, yes na yan. But all kasi, it fails to explain the evidence. Lalo pag research question.
Question time.
Okay, ito na lang, hindi pa natin sa contemporary evidence. If hindi ka agree, ano yung contemporary evidence na we can date back to Jesus' Christian lifetime?
Contemporary evidence? Okay, sige.
Hello?
Hello, narinig ba ako? Hello?
Hindi ko sabi. Yeah, may tanong ko sa'yo.
Okay, both debater, please, last na to. Hanap kayo ng magandang room or magandang place kung saan mabilis ang both signal ninyo para smooth yung palitan ninyo ng kanya-kanyang idea at opinion. Okay, sir. Yes, okay. Repeat the question, Ilu, and then answer mo na, sir, Robot, tapos question ko yung bahay.
Okay na po, okay na po.
Okay, repeat the question, Ilu.
Ako ba yung vlog or si Sir Rowell?
Sir Robot.
Ako ba yun?
Si Sir Rowell. Okay, yung question, ano yung contemporary evidence na we can date back to Jesus' Christian lifetime?
Okay. Wala tayong surviving written document na ginawa mismo nung buhay pa si Jesus. Pero, ito mahalaga, no? Normally kasi in history, hindi nito dinidisprove ang kanyang existence. Linawin ko lang po, we are talking about early near contemporary sources written within.
Okay, let's go to the second part kung saan si Ilu, or let me say si Prof. Ilu ang magtatanong sa akin. Okay, napakinggan niyo po yung first part, no? Guys, remember, hindi to speech time, hindi to lecture, hindi to rebuttal ulit. Layunin nito ay i-test kung consistent ang position, malinaw ang definition, at kung bumabagsak ba ang arguments pag tinanong ng direkta. Tandaan ang rules na, tandaan ang rules na mismong si Ilo ang naglatag. Kung categorical lang tanong, sagutin muna. Pwedeng mag-pass pero may 20-second explanation. At walang objection sa cross-examination maliban kung mali ang sagot sa categorical. Yan ang magiging benchmark natin, okay? Ngayon, napakinggan na po natin ang first part. Ang unang tanong niya sa akin, dahil ba minority ang mythicism sa field, therefore mali na? Siyempre, ang sagot ko, tama. Kumbaga, in essence, ang sagot ko, hindi ito dahil minority lang, kundi dahil hindi nito kayang i-explain ang evidence. Yan ang tamang sagot historically and logically. Bakit? In history and science, hindi automatic na mali ang minority. Pero, burdened ito ng mas mabigat na explanatory power. Yan ang mismo ginawa ko. It fails to explain the early multiple hostile and contextual evidence. At kung consistency lang pag-usapan, 100% consistent sa opening statement at sa rebuttal ko. Hindi ko ginamit yung quote-unquote majority vote. Ginamit ko ang explanatory scope and power. So, walang contradiction yun sa aking latag. Second question ni Prof. Ilu. Ano raw ang contemporary evidence na ma-date mismo sa lifetime ni Jesus? Ang sagot ko naman, wala tayong surviving written document from Jesus' lifetime. But that is normal in ancient history and does not disprove existence. Which is accurate. Bakit? Yan ang turo ng historiography. Contemporary is not required here. Near contemporary within living memory ang standard. At malinaw ko ang sinabi, di ba sa opening statement? Sa rebuttal din, hindi DNA, hindi birth certificate, hindi CCTV. Yan po yung exactly na sinabi ko sa mismong opening and rebuttal period. So, walang nabago sa rules, di ba? Now, concerning 1 Corinthians 15 creed, ang tanong niya, paano dinidate ng scholars ang creed sa 1 Corinthians 15? In essence, Paul says he received it from early church leaders like Peter and James. and it predates the letter itself. Ito ay tama, pero syempre, I admittedly, hindi ko agad na ilatag ng systematic kasi ang follow-up niya, ano raw yung documents na nagamit. To clarify, especially to you, Prof. Ilu, sa totoo lang, walang hiwalay na physical document na hawak ang mga scholars, pero hindi yun ang paraan ng dating. Ang ginawa ko sa clarification, creedal structure, poetic rhythm, non-Pauline vocabulary, and Aramic linguistic markers. Ito ang standard scholarly method. So, kahit may konting hesitation sa aking delivery dahil nga sa lag at mabilis yung timing o yung oras, ganun pa rin naman yung ating sagot. In essence, tama. Historically valid, consistent sa mainstream scholarship, and consistent sa opening and rebuttal ko. Ngayon, gusto kong pansinin niyo po yung ginawa ni Ilu. Noong nag-chat sa akin tong taong to, sabi, wala raw mangyayaring objection moderator. Wala raw. Siya mismo ang nagsabi sa akin na sa cross-examination, walang objection moderator. But what does he did? Nag-objection moderator siya, kahit hindi category error, kahit clarification ang ginawa. Fact check, on topic ang aking sagot, hindi ako nag-evade, at hindi maling sagot sa categorical. So objectively, sorry to you, Ilu, you are not following your own rule. You became deceptive. You see? Ngayon, tungkol naman sa isang tanong, sabi ni Ilu, ang unang mention kay Paul ay kay Marcion 144 AD. What if, sabi ko nga, even if it's true, it doesn't mean Paul does not exist. We have 7 undisputed Pauline letters. Kasi sa historiography, as I said, self-authenticating documents count. Hindi kailangan ng ibang tao ang unang magbanggit. At kung gagamitin natin yung logic ng tanong ni Prof. Ilu, then wala ring Socrates, wala ring Buddha, wala ring maraming ancient figures. Maging consistent naman tayo dyan, mga kapatid. Now, did Ilu's questions undermine my case? Short answer, no. Bakit? First, about mythicism being minority, hindi niya napabulaanan ng failure of explanation. About contemporary evidence, inamin niyang normal na wala, pero gusto pa rin gawing disprove o disproof. About the creed, hindi niya pinabulaanan ng method, tinawag lang na documents issue. And about Paul, hindi niya nasagot kung bakit letters themselves don't count. So, sa first part pa lang ng cross-examination sa akin nito, walang central pillar ng argument ko ang bumagsak. Now, let's go to another one. Kung titingnan natin kung mapapatunayan niya na wasak, debunk, at refuted ang mga naging arguments ko on opening and rebuttal.
Okay, ito. Academically, ano ang mas reliable? Peer-reviewed na book or hindi?
Peer-reviewed books, Johnson, it.
Ang tanong ko ay ano ang mas reliable? Peer-reviewed book academically or hindi peer-reviewed?
Peer-reviewed, yun ang suot ko kanina dyan.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so sabi mo peer-reviewed, no? Aware naman na ang book ni Dr. Richard Carrier at ang book ni Dr. Rafael Lancaster 2014 and 2019 ay both peer-reviewed, yes or no?
Ang sabihin, ay okay, nalala ko na. Masabing peer-reviewed pero hindi pa ito nangangahulugan.
Hindi, alam mo kung aware ka. Uy, objection ba kami? Tinatanong ko kung aware siya.
Sabi ko na yan, sabi ko aware naman po ako dyan, so that's why I'm saying yes on that.
Okay,
Okay,
continue
so
with
aware
the
na.
answer.
Now, ito, palagi mo sige,
May ano pa ba? May continuation objection.
okay, answer daw, continue.
Okay, continue with the answer, sir. Well, I think hindi naman na clarify the question.
Okay, sabi ko kanina, yung sa peer-reviewed yung sa mga books na career, okay, peer-reviewed, yes, that's why, okay, pero it doesn't mean na tama po ang mga things sa kanilang mga sinabi, especially when it comes to the historical Jesus studies. That's all I can say for that.
Next question.
Okay, so, we're talking about peer-reviewed. Aware naman hindi peer-reviewed ang book ni Parker Humanity Days of Sexism na published noong 2012, yes or no? Which is tinagamit mo?
Well, past for that kasi hindi ko pa nabasa yung sinasabing peer-reviewed, so to speak, pero even if hindi siya peer-reviewed, so to speak, doesn't mean malinagad po yung naturang data about the historical Jesus subject. That's all I can say for that.
Okay, sabi mo sa TikTok post mo, tinatag ko noong December 25 related to the topic that we're discussing right now, sabi mo, kailangan peer-reviewed, kailangan may actual publication para seryosohin ng mga scholar. Bakit ka gumagamit ng aklat na hindi naman peer-reviewed to begin with tulad ng Jesus Exist ni Parker Humanity?
To answer that question, ito sasabihin ko, hindi lamang yung libro ni Bart Ehrman lang ginagamit ko lang dyan. Ginagamit ko yan as an example dahil isa siya sa mga atheist na, or let me say, agnostic scholar na nagbabanggit na may historical Jesus na nag-exist. I'm not saying na absolutely yun na yun or whatever. Thank you.
So sa part na ito ng cross-examination, malinaw na lumipat na si Prof. Ilu mula sa historical arguments papunta sa meta-discussion. What do I mean? Peer review, credibility ng scholars, paggamit ng mga libro at personal statements ko sa isa sa mga videos ko sa TikTok. Hindi po ito inherently masama mga kapatid, pero nakaangkla ba ito sa opening statement at rebuttal ko? At nakaangkla ba ito sa opening at rebuttal din niya? At nagamit ba ito para sirain ang historical case na aking binigay? Now, ang tanong ni Ilu ganito, ano ang mas reliable academically, peer-reviewed o hindi? Sabi ko peer-reviewed, which is tama naman yung sagot natin, there's no issue. Pero bigla siyang nag-follow up. Aware ka ba na peer-reviewed ang books ni Lancaster and Carrier? Yung mga iniidolo niya ba na mga mythicists? Aware naman ako doon sabi ko nga. At take note guys, malinaw kong dinagdag kung napakinggan niyo ang aking sagot. Peer-reviewed does not automatically mean correct. Here's the important thing, no? Kasi sa akademya, peer review is about quality control, not guarantee of truth. May peer-reviewed papers na binabatikos, nire-retract o tinatanggihan ng field. So again, consistent ito sa opening and rebuttal ko. Diba? Kung saan sinabi ko, mysticism is peer-reviewed pero fringe and rejected dahil mahinang explanatory power. Hindi dahil atheist. So, wala namang consistency doon. Now, concerning sa libro ni Bart Ehrman na Did Jesus Exist na meron akong kopya, sabi niya sa akin, sabi ni Ilu, aware ka ba na hindi peer-reviewed ang book ni Bart Ehrman? You see guys, in essence, hindi ako sigurado sa peer review process ng specific na book. Pero, hindi ito nangangahulugang mali na agad ang content. I've just used Bart Ehrman bilang example ng non-Christian scholar, hindi bilang ultimate authority. Yan ang hindi inintindi ni Ilu. And to clarify, trade books is not equal to journals. Are not equal to journals. And then, historians do not dismiss data just because it appears in a non-peer-reviewed book. Sana ang tanong, are the arguments sound? Are the sources valid? Still, from the beginning of my arguments, opening rebuttal, consistent pa rin. At ito ngayon critical point, my friends. Nag-quote siya mula sa isa sa mga video ko sa TikTok at ang kanyang implication, Ruel, contradiction ka. Humihingi ka ng peer review pero gumagamit ka ng hindi peer-reviewed book. But here's the problem. Hindi niya talaga ginawang formal question ito sa cross-examination. Walang malinaw na yes or no question, logical trap, at direct challenge sa aking argument. He used it bilang rhetorical pressure, hindi po analytical questioning. Siyempre, sumagot ako ng malinaw. Si Bart Ehrman ay isa sa mga example. Hindi siyang foundation ng case. Nakatayo yung foundation, yung case natin sa early sources, multiple attestation, hostile testimony, consensus across believers and non-believers. Kaya prangkahan lang, Ilu. Wala namang contradiction sa naging debate natin sa isa sa mga videos ko nung ine-expose kita. At ang sinasabi ko sa TikTok doon, kung magsasabing refuted na kailangan ng peer-reviewed scholarship, hindi ko sinabing only peer-reviewed books can ever be cited. Strawman ka, Ilu. Strawman. Ngayon, ginamit ba ni Ilu ang video na yun bilang argument? Yung isa sa mga videos ko? Hindi. Sa video na aking presenta, ang totoo niyan, hindi niya ginamit ito para sirain ang historical Jesus. Hindi niya ginamit para i-refute ang sources at hindi niya ginamit para maglatag ng counter-evidence. What this guy has done here, mag-imply ng inconsistency at mag-shift sa personal credibility. Na personal na ba yarn? Attacking how someone argues is not the same as refuting what they argue. So, let's be very clear. Hindi niya napabulaanan ng early creeds, hindi niya napasinungalingan ng Pauline data, hindi naputol ang multiple attestation, hindi niya naipakitang mali ang hostile sources, at hindi niya na-demonstrate na mas explanatory ang mythicism. Ang kanyang ginawa, iangat ang peer review issue, which I already accept, banggitin ang fringe scholars, which I already addressed, at mag-reference sa social media statements. Pero wala ni isa rito ang sumira sa historical arguments. Ihilo talaga. Dapat lang talagang ialis sa kanya ang pagiging hari raw ng lohika. Let's go to the next one.
Okay, dahil sa kanilang size mo kanina, yung Bayesian theorem, naniniwala kasi ako na for criticism to be valid, we must first understand yung depth ng argument being presented. Now, sa formula ng Bayes theorem, ano ang ibig sabihin ng PHE?
PhD? Second?
Sagot. Anong responsive question moderator ng ChatGPT pa yata? Anong responsive question?
Excuse me, kanina, ulit lang yung sagot, ulit lang yung tanong. Ulit yung tanong. And please, objection, mamaya lang ako objection later. Mamaya lang ako objection.
Hindi, ngayon na Sir Ruel para
Okay, okay. To say na ako nag-GPT, seryoso. Oh, iba na yan. Oh, anyway, to answer the question, pasan mo naman. Pasan mo na dyan. Pasan mo na ako dyan.
Okay, pass daw ilo. Okay, resume time.
Okay, pass daw. Thank you. Okay, lagi mong sinasabi na hindi mag-invento ang mga Diyos ng story regarding sa isang crucified Messiah kasi nakakahiya siya para sa isang Messiah. Kaya imposible nga naman na mag-invento ng narrative ng Gospel of Mark. Okay, tanong ko sa iyo, tanong ko sa iyo, Sir Ruel, aware ka ba na according mismo kay Bartier, managing Diyos kung pagdating sa Jesus exists, ang sumulat ng mga Gospel ay Greek-speaking Christian at hindi mga Palestinian Jew? Aware ka ba? Tanong ko, aware ka ba? Yes or no?
Well, I'm aware of that actually, to be honest with you. Pero hindi ko ito nangahulugan na tama ang yung point of view kanina dyan. And by the way, I'm not making him a god of some sort pala. Mausapan yun. Anyway, next question.
Next question. Paano mo i-reconcile ngayon yung criteria of embarrassment, knowing na hindi naman pala mga Hudyo ang sumulat ng Gospel, kundi mga Greek-speaking Christians na nakatira outside Palestine?
Diyan na papasok ang
Okay. In the beginning of the cross-examination that Ilu has done to me, malinaw na siya ay nag-shift from historical argumentation to personal attacks and rhetoric. He accused me of using ChatGPT. Inisip niyang mapapahiya niya ako sa pamamagitan ng signal issue at aking pagkantok kasi yung debate na nangyari noong time na gabing-gabi na. 9 o'clock kasi yung debate namin, 9 p.m. Okay? And then, pinilit niyang gawing issue ang paggamit ko ng mga sources o examples mula sa mga non-peer-reviewed books. Reality check para kay Ilu, ang paggamit ng tools, databases, books, or videos, hindi nagbabago sa validity ng argumento. Ngayon, ang tanong sa akin nito, anong ibig sabihin ng PH sa Bayes theorem? Which, actually, I even admitted to myself, right? Pass muna ka ako nga. Pinaliwanag ko na hindi makakagawa ng valid critic kung hindi talaga naunawa ng buong argument. Sa totoo lang kasi, hindi niya naiintindihan ang basic question niya, but he uses it as an attack. Ginamit ito para imply na wala raw akong alam sa matematika. Kahit ang claim niya mismo ay hindi man lang naipakita ang formula na ginagamit niya sa historiography. Ano yun? Tool shaming na ba yan, Ilu? Kasi distraction lang ginawa mo. Hindi historical refutation. One more thing. Nagtanong pa siya sa akin, aware ka ba na Greek-speaking Christians, hindi Palestinian Jews ang sumulat ng gospel? Well, aware naman ako doon, pero hindi ito nangahulugang mali ang criterion of embarrassment. Siyempre, ang Griego, ang lingua franca, noong panahon yun, noong 1st century, nang naisulat yung New Testament. Pero, Jewish content, context, at cultural markers ang preserved. At kahit Greek-speaking ang mga authors nito, nag-transmit sila ng authentic traditions from Jewish context. Dito po natin makikita na si Ilusyon ay nag-attempt na i-undermine ang historical method sa pamamagitan ng modern lens, ng ethnicity at language. Diyan palang mali na yung kanyang premise. Criterion of embarrassment tungkol daw sa unlikely cultural invention, hindi sa linguistic background ng author. Next, ang tanong pa ni Ilu, can you give a single verse aside from Galatians 1:19 where Paul mentions Jesus' family? Argument from silence. Paul does mention James, the brother of Jesus, at sinasabi rin na si Jesus ay isinilang born from a woman under the law. Hindi po dahil hindi kumpleto ang data, kundi, listen, hindi po dahil kumpleto yung data, hindi ito nangahulugan ng walang historical basis. Ang problema kay Ilo, nilalaro niya ang demand for exhaustive evidence fallacy. Wala siyang pinakita na specific verse na kontra sa argument. So refusing to accept an argument because every single detail is not mentioned is not historical methodology. Guilty si Ilo sa moving the goalpost. Moving the goalpost, kumbaga. Ngayon, nagpunta tayo kay Justin Martyr at kay Trypho. Kasi nagtanong siya, aware ka ba sa dialogue ni Justin Martyr at Trypho? Siyempre, hindi naman ako aware sa content, kaya nag-pass lang muna. Ako kasi pag ganyan, honest ako. Mahalaga yung pagiging intellectually honest. Yan ang wala sa mga nakadebate ko. Balikan nyo yung naging debate ko doon kay Vox Atheus. Balikan nyo yung naging debate ko kay Eddie Boy aka Yulday. Balikan nyo yung naging debate ko kay Ahmad Domer aka Light of Suna. Balikan ninyo yung pag-expose ko sa mga claims ni Abdullah Alim. Balikan nyo yung mga responses ko sa mga naging argumento ng isang Gnostic. Ang problema dito, especially sa panig naman ni Ilusyon dito, wala po yung tinatawag na intellectual honesty. You see, pinakita ko na honest disclaimer. Hindi pwedeng mag-assume na alam lahat ng teksto. Valid yan sa historical methodology kung hindi ka sigurado. Kaya it's better to acknowledge limits than fabricate an answer. Diba? That's why I said, pinakita ko ang intellectual honesty habang siya, si Ilo, naglalagay ng presumption or guilt. Next, he asked, dahil maraming copies, totoo na. Kung isa lang, hindi na totoo. Ay, nako po. Hindi talaga maunawaan ni Ilo yung tungkol sa proseso. Hindi simpleng marami is equals to true. Ang dami ng manuscripts ay ebidensya ng preservation at transmission. Hindi po ito katapusan ng historical argument. Diba? I even provided some sources like from Tacitus, Josephus, and others. Sa totoo lang, si Ilo ay nag-oversimplify at nag-strawman. He exaggerates argument to discredit. So, sa totoo lang, guilty siya sa ad hominem. Ano pa? Ginawa niyang tools and methods yung panunuya. At saka yung kanyang mga questions, mostly tangential. Hindi talaga nag-rebut sa historical Jesus topic at hindi nagtatanong sa core criteria na aking presenta sa opening statement. Ay, nako po. You see, when your opponent uses insults, distractions, and meta-arguments instead of refuting the evidence, it shows they are losing on substance. Let's go to another one.
Tacitus. That's why na-mention din niya yung mga naganap, even nung panahon ni Emperor Nero, nung panahon na persecute doon ng mga Christians nung panahon niya, even nung panahon niya rin mismo. All I can say for that, thank you. Next question.
So naniniwala ka sa account ni Tacitus na si Emperor Vespasian ay nakapagpadaling ng bulag dahil sa Diyos ni Ceres?
Well, I'm not on that kind of claim or argument, but I'm gonna go check the source, no? But ang point ko sa paggamit ko, let me finish first. Kaya ko nabanggit yung tungkol dyan about sa Christianity and some sort of it, dahil doon sa...
Nakukonsume yung time ko, pero hindi siya directly sumasagot sa question. Nakukonsume yung time ko, which is matapos na unfortunately, pero hindi siya sumasagot directly sa question. Natanong ko naman sa kanya, naniniwala ba siya? Sagutin niya muna ba yes or no, and then explain.
Actually, I've already answered that. Even if mentioned ganun record, it doesn't mean, okay, doon sa record yun, sabi natin hindi man totoo yan, historically. Okay?
Is that a response to counter-objective or sagot na mismo?
Actually, ito sasagutin ko lang para sure kasi tapos oras natin.
Okay, pause time. Okay, sagot.
Okay, sabihin natin na sige, hindi yung totoo yung bukod sa binanggit niya kanina, but it doesn't mean na wala siyang matatawag na reliable historical records pa rin yan. SP, let me say, doon sa nangyari ng panahon ni Nero, about Christian persecution, about kay Christ na nas-crucified under Pontius Pilate, yun.
Okay. So, hindi ko double standard yan kasi hindi mo pinakaniwala yung account mo yun, pero at the same time, naniniwala ka dun sa account ni Tacitus about Jesus.
No, I'm not even using double standards here, my friend. Kumbaga, pinipinpoint ko lang na hindi lang naman si Tacitus lamang yan. Nabanggit ko na yung iba pang mga names ng mga non-Christians, ng mga non-Christian histories. Yung iba nga, they really hated Christ at all. And yet, they recognize that there is someone whose name was Jesus from Nazareth na nag-exist noon. Anyway, thank you so much.
Okay,
Okay. Sa huling bahagi na ito, malinaw na ang focus ni Ilo ngayon ay si Tacitus, isang Roman historian at sa reliability ng mga historical records sa panahon ni Emperor Nero. Tingnan niyo po yung mga questions niya, no? Kailan isinulat ang annals? Bakit ginagamit ang annals bilang reference sa mga events na nangyari sa 1st century? Do I believe, naniniwala ba ako sa iba pang miraculous claims na nakalagay sa records ni Tacitus? At hindi ba double standard kung tinatanggap ko ang Tacitus para kay Jesus pero hindi sa ibang miraculous claims? So, ngayon, tignan natin, no? Una, yung tanong niya, kailan isinulat ang annals? I said 2nd century, which is tama naman ang ating sagot. Exact sa historical dating. Yung pinapakita nito na may basic grounding tayo sa sources. Okay? Next. Bakit, sabi niya, bakit ginagamit si Tacitus para sa events na nangyari sa 1st century? At ang aking sagot, kahit 2nd century yung author na si Tacitus yan, clearly documents events na nangyari under Emperor Nero. So, ano yung historical judgment natin dyan? Anong hatol ng mga historiador? Tacitus can accurately refer to past events even if written decades later. So, mali ang insinuation ni Ilusyon na hindi pwede gamitin si Tacitus. Wala siyang gotcha sa aking sagot, sa totoo lang. Next, sabi pa niya, itong yung tanong niya sa akin, naniniwala ka ba na nagpagaling ng bulag si Emperor Vespasian dahil sa Diyos? I don't believe. Alam niyo ba anong point ko diyan? Na halatang hindi talaga naiintindihan ng mapagpanggap daw na tagawasak raw ng pananampalataya. Ang Tacitus account na ginagamit natin is all about the persecution of Christians and execution of Christ, not in miraculous claims. So mali ang attempt ni Ilusyon na ilink ang historical Jesus evidence sa miraculous claims sa ibang teksto. At nag-akusa pa ang taong to sa pagsasabi ng tanong na, hindi ba double standard kung tinatanggap mo si Tacitus para kay Jesus pero hindi sa ibang miraculous claims? As if si Ilo hindi guilty sa double standard sa opening at rebuttal niya. Hindi yung double standard. Mind you guys, hindi yung double standards as I've said. I'm just pointing out na maraming non-Christian sources ang nag-acknowledge sa historical Jesus kahit na hindi nila gustong Christianity. Kasi hindi lang si Tacitus yan. Andun si Pliny the Younger, andun si Josephus, andun si Marabar Serapion, andun ang Talmud. So, mali na naman ang premise ni Ilusyon. Tinatanong niya ang aking pananampalataya sa konteksto ng miraculous claims just to undermine my credibility. Ngayon, naalala ko yung isa sa mga part na sinabi niya sa akin on the debate. Hindi raw ako knowledgeable. Hindi raw ako ganito, hindi raw ako ganyan. But did Prof. Ilu expose me as not knowledgeable? Did he get a gotcha? Hindi. Sa knowledge, pinakita po natin na alam po natin yung dating ng sulat ni Tacitus, kung paano ginagamit ang sources sa 1st century events, at paano i-handle ang miraculous claims. Gotcha? Wala. Ang mga tanong ni Ilusyon ay mostly leading, loaded, at misframed. Hindi factual traps. So, ang objective ng kanyang tanong ay ma-expose na mali raw ang aking paggamit sa isa sa mga sulatin ni Tacitus, pero malinaw na tama ang ginawa nating historiographical method. At kaya po nating ipaliwanag based on context. So now, I would like to end this up in this second series, no? So, kung mapansin niyo po, yung debate namin, lalo sa cross-examination period, no? Balikan lang natin ng kaunti, yung opening statement at rebuttal muna to sum up para sa series na to. Sa akin, malino na inilihad natin ng historical Jesus evidence mula sa early near contemporary sources, multiple attestation, hostile sources, criterion of embarrassment, and early rapid growth ng Christianity. Si Ilu, binanggit niyang Bayes' theorem at probability models, and he said ng paulit-ulit, walang contemporary evidence, anonymous daw ang Gospels, bias daw ang consensus, at mythical figure daw si Jesus. So, from opening, makikita po ninyo agad ang difference. One side presents evidence, the other side presents rhetoric, assumptions, and math without context. So, evidence versus assertion ang nangyari. Sa rebuttal, nilinaw ko yung fallacies. Category error yung ginawa ni Ilu, yung tungkol sa argument from silence, tungkol sa issue ng late Gospels daw, at tungkol sa free scholars. Pinakita ko rin na literary dependence is not fabrication. Multiple attestation strengthens, not weakens, at ang criterion of embarrassment ay valid tool. Pero sa ilusyon sa rebuttal niya, patuloy na ginagamit ang absence of contemporary evidence as his main argument, at sinabi niyang consensus is bias, at sinubukang i-dismantle ang standard historiography gamit ng pseudo-mathematics. So sa rebuttal naman, it clearly shows the distinction. One side addresses claims with logic and evidence, the other side moves the goalposts, demands impossible evidence, at gumamit ng math na hindi applicable sa history. So ngayon, sa cross-examination naman na ginawa namin, una yung tanong ko kay Ilu. Did historians rely on probability or absolute certainty? Are absence of contemporary records definitive proof against historical figures? Take note ha, yung una niyang sagot, probability. Pangalawa, hindi raw. Yung pangatlo, Tacitus, Josephus, Pliny the Younger, you name it. Ito ba yung mga independent sources? He denied but could not provide direct evidence of dependence. At yung silence of sources argument, fallacy in context of first century figures. Ang resulta, Prof. Ilusion failed to produce any credible evidence that Jesus did not exist. Instead, his attacks were often ad hominem, rhetorical, or misleading. Ngayon, yung mga tanong ni Ilu sa akin, okay? Peer-reviewed sources, I clarified context, and I give example. Criteria of embarrassment with Greek-speaking gospel authors, I explained context, written in Greek but reflecting Jewish traditions. Tacitus' miraculous claims versus historical content. I even clarified proper historical method. So, guys, he tried to corner me with double standards accusations, gotcha about the documents, and ChatGPT. I answered all questions factually and methodologically, maintaining historiographical integrity. Doon pa lang sa estilo namin, makikita niyo po yung pagkakaiba. I asked precise questions to test evidence. Ilusion asked provocative, misleading, and rhetorical questions. So, nasa aking side, tungkol sa evidence. But distractions dominated his. So, my friends, kung titingnan po natin sa consistency, consistent ang arguments natin, evidence-based, at historically grounded. Yung mga gaps sa opponent's case, yung kay Ilu, walang primary evidence laban kay Jesus. He relies on hypothetical math, absence of records, at syempre, sikat siya sa ad hominem. At syempre, he is unable to answer basic historiographical questions logically. Concerning sa behavioral pattern niya, naalala nyo nung hinamon ko siya uli sa debate? Diba? Guys, he avoided live debate accountability. He is active in comment sections, mocking tools, accusing me. And he demonstrates his style over substance. Conclusion? Si Jesus ay talagang nag-exist, affirmed by majority of credible scholars. Ang mga ebidensya na nating nailatag, early, multiple, independent, hostile, and corroborated po yan. Pero yung approach ni Ilu, fringe sources, ad hominem, rhetorical distractions, and goalpost moving. At sa cross-examination, it demonstrates my command of historical method at na-expose natin ang kanyang kabiguan to substantiate claims. Kaya pagdating sa debates at sa history, huwag tayong madistract sa rhetoric at mockery. Let's find evidence, follow the facts. Ang historical Jesus ay may matibay na historical footprint. So, this is the end of our part 2 of this debate review series. Lord willing, we will go on to the reflection, conclusion, at mga sinasabi ng mga adjudicators. At titingnan po natin kung meron bang nabago sa reflection ni Ilu or whatever. And to those who are watching, to those who are listening pala, I'm hoping and praying na sundan niyo po yung evidence, ikumpara niyo po yung mga arguments na presenta namin. At kayo lang ang makakapagpasya. But if the claims about Jesus Christ is real, if He really exists, if He really claimed to be God, if He really rose from the dead, if Christianity were true, would you become a Christian? Good day to all of you, and God bless. See you on the last part of this series.